I almost got struck by the muterator. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I was not expecting. I love having this many people in here. Hello, everybody. Today we have Eaze, Gruesome, and Urak for Cloaked Goof in here to give us some history, and I will let them introduce themselves.
Start off. Hello, my name is Gru, and I am the CEO of Cloaked Goof, and glad to be here today.
Hi, I am Eaze. I'm the Internal Affairs Director of Cloaked Goof. Happy to be here. I heard Rose had a fantastic stream, so happy Rose.
Eh, And I'm Urok, and I appreciate being here and sharing our story.
I am very, very happy to have you guys here. I have had a wonderful relationship with some people in Goof as being a goon, and people that have reached out to me and Eaze. I'm referring to you on this one. After a certain event that happened, you reached out, and I was absolutely floored. And in my thought, that's why I was like, okay, this is somebody who I want to reach out to, but I wanted to have it. So I really appreciate everybody. Hello, everybody. Hi, Dave. Hi, he's my INN boss. Um, but with that, I'll go ahead and kind of get started. Um, we're doing history on Cloaked Goof, and so with that, um, where did the name come from? How was it kind of thought of or originate?
So, when it comes to our name, Cloaked Goof's been around for a while, and it started out in 2010 by a guy named Kim Gooфenberry, and I actually don't know anything about him. He was the older brother of the CEO after him, but I'd never met him. By the time I joined Cloaked Goof, he had left, and his character's been transferred multiple times, so I don't even know if he plays anymore. So we begin our story with Archie. And for us and our name, we've always taken it to know like sneaky, but uh, goofy and stupid when it comes to going out there and just trying to do something. And sometimes we fail at it, and sometimes we get a good victory out of it. So that's what we have taken the name to be.
And that is honestly, I love it. I love the, hey, we don't know, but this is how we interpret it. That is fantastic. So, with the interesting beginnings of the name and kind of with that, with not having the knowledge of the former CEO, can you kind of tell me where it kind of started and led into with some history, kind of where I guess you left off, where you kind of joined or learned?
Basically in 2016, I had rejoined Eve. I started playing again, and I joined a group of friends, and we joined an alliance in Cloud Ring. And there was just it was a nice small alliance and then there was a couple other alliances nearby, and we were just trying to make ends meet out there. And that's where I met Archie. He became the head FC of this alliance, and at the time, we were beginning to fight Gal Mill. They were invading Cloud Ring, and they were doing a way better job at attacking us than us defending ourselves. And Archie led some amazing battles with, a ragtag group of people. Eventually, Archie did not was grinding with the leadership. The leadership was doing a lot of things where they weren't committing to the fight. They would be like, "Oh, we have Titans to do bridges, but we don't want to actually undock them. We don't want to actually move them. We don't want to interact." Uh, so he had enough, and he left. And he said, "Anyone who wants to come with, please do. I'm restarting this corporation, and we're going to do it our way, and we're going to have some fun." Um, it was a tough decision for me. At the time, I came back to Eve because of some real life friends and some former Eve friends that wanted to start out, and I was wanting a change. So I made the tough call, and I dropped roles and joined up, and we landed in Tenifris, out of all places. I always find it funny now that since we all live in this area, We started out in PEK. It
Ancestral
was a
homeland.
very good time. Yeah. Um, yeah, and basically Archie said, I don't know how long we're going to be here. To put a solve like timing on it, this was when FCON was still around. There was a lot of other groups in this coalition, and it was very clear that FCON was not winning this war. I wasn't even fully aware on who they were fighting at the time, but it was like just on the insides and everything, they were beginning to crumble. So he said, We're not going to be here for long. This is about building a war chest and recruiting people." And at the time, Archie had this dream of making the next megacorp, something similar to Pandemic Horde or Karma. And so we were going to become that next new bro corporation. So we started bringing in people who were fresh into the game. We were training them into cormorants. That was our signature ship. It was very easy to get them in, so we just kept moving them in that way. Sure enough, probably like a month or so later, FCON crumbled, and we were looking for a new spot, and we decided to move to Blackrise and Losec and join Caldari Faction Warfare. A good spot and a pretty violent spot, and also we still had some bitter feelings with Gal Mill, so this was a great time to spar with our old rivals. And we lived there probably a good 2 or 3 months, still recruiting. And I remember we picked up Eaze and Urok at this point. Yeah, and we were having a great time. But alas, faction warfare was not rejuvenated at this point in Eve. This was a different time, so there wasn't a lot of money in it, and there was a lot of points where it's like, what are we doing? We want to go back to nullsec. So we got a call from one of our former Alliance friends that were still living in Cloud Ring and said, "Do you want to sit on our couch and hang out and everything?" So we took that up. They were Rebel Alliance of New Eden, Rain, and we lived there, and we were basically poking at the Gal Mill in the area, mainly Fed Up. They were around at the time, and they would cloaky camp our new bros, and we would hunt their carriers and harass them, and had a whole fun time. As there's a constellation in Cloud Ring that has like a particular gas in it, and we would just steal it under them, and they would try to hunt our gas miners, and we would train our people to just like stay in system, cloaky camp, not to kill them, but just to steal the gas. So when they would leave, we would steal it. They would beg us to leave system because they were like, "You just gotta leave," and we wouldn't leave. So we we had a lot of fun there. Eventually, we decided that we didn't want to be on the couch anymore, and Archie wanted to figure out what we wanted to do. And at the time, we were still growing. We probably had about 150 people at this point, maybe a little bit more. And the choice was we could either try to join a big alliance or we can do our own thing. And he, at the time, had talked about Cascade Imminent, or the hashtag fail, and how that was a great time in his career and how he would love to start it all back up. So we did. And we began trying to take some Sov and Cloud Ring, but at the time, the Imperium was moving in 6RCQ and dropping a Keep Star, and it was very clear that Cloud Ring was going to be in their control. So we moved out, and we moved to Pureblind, and this was like 2017. We just started Fail back up. We got permission to live. I can't remember the system, but it was in Western Pureblind. And out there, we quickly took over all of West Pureblind, including EC TAC. And we just started growing even more there. We started bringing up more corporations. We were taking it all with cormorants, and if we were feeling really flashy at the time, we would also bring out the Feroxes. But that was pretty much all we got. And we literally had from when you looked at like NPC Pureblind, anything east of that, it was under our control. We even when the faction Fortizars, or the stations became faction Fortizars, we actually had one of the last soft timers in EC TAC, and we have a monument from CCP in there with our alliance sigil and everything just floating around. So yeah, we started growing, began to bring in some corporations with a little bit of capitals, which was crazy. We built up an extreme indie park and trying to actually simulate similar to what we were hearing from Goons with their industrial might that was growing at the time. Um, and we were just messing around. It was a good time, and then I believe the Battle of X-47 happened up in the north west. And when that happened, we realized that Goons, the Imperium, were coming up for real. And we were trying to figure out, are we going to be able to survive in Pure Blind or not? We weren't directly aligned with any of the parties, but, you know, we were like neutral-ish state, I guess. And eventually, we actually fought TNT, I believe, deployed in where we were in Pure Blind, and we fought them off. And then eventually Goons came proper, and we realized this is not going to happen unless we get support. The powers that be in the area were saying we were on our own, and basically realized we weren't going to keep the space. And as we were deciding a new spot, Archie got a message, and I'm not sure who he was talking to or what happened exactly, but he got a message from Goons saying that they were going to offer us a spot. They enjoyed our fights. They liked what we did, and we wanted to bring us on. So we did. And we did what we did with Cascade Imminent at any time. And we just turned off the keys and cascaded. And we joined up with Goons, and then we pretty much went to the front and started fighting. And then after that, the rest is history, really. When we had our Goon history. After that, we went in Glass Tribute. We had Vietnam, which I would say was the highlight so far of my whole Eve career. That year and a half was amazing, and I kind of miss it at times. Yeah, it was a great time.
That is awesome. That honestly, I've heard so many stories of World War B2 doing this that, like, it's so cool to piece things together and put them together and showing, you know, this is what one court, showing the teamwork, for lack of better words, that had to happen to make it successful, to stand the ground, to yeah, like I don't have words. It's fantastic.
I mean, I think to jump in here, I think Asher put it really well. Like when he took over the alliances, you know, Eve is about the shared experiences and all of our own stories, right? And I can tell from my own experience and how I came into Cloak Goof, and it was really my story, and I identify with it. And then as Cloak Goof rolled into Goons, and we shared the stories with Goons, right? Like Vietnam and M2 and all of that was all a shared experience. Once we joined that, it's really why Eve differentiates itself from so many other games. And while you'll find guys like us, gals like us, players like us, really loving the game and sticking with it, and wanting, you know, I think one thing that differentiates Cloak Goof, and one of the things that we've prided ourselves on, is really bringing in and mentoring and supporting the folks in our corp, right? We bring them on, we're wingmen for them. We've set up mentoring networks. We do all the things, many of the same things that Goons do. We lose money so that our members do better, right? Like yeah. we're there for each other, and you know that's something that I've seen is really differentiating for what Cloak Goof does. Again, we don't want to be huge. We just want our niche, and we want the guys in our niche and the gals and the characters and the players to find that special place, but also be part of that larger story, you know?
I would definitely agree. I think that is also, there we go, if I can use my mic properly. I think that's also part of why new players are important, but it might also be why they maybe have a hard time, because they're like, look, I haven't had these experiences yet. But showing them, you know, hey, look, we have this experience. Come on in. Let us help you. Let us teach you. Come use, Gooniversity. Come use corp services. Come use, the access and the information that comes from a group of corporations with varying levels of, they've been all over the place. Be it they've been in Goons for years and years, or be it, hey, we've only joined within the last 5, etc. So I definitely think that quote from Asher definitely sums it up very, very nicely.
Yeah, funny enough, I was a 10-year-old new player when Cloaked Goof reached out to me, because literally this is how it went down. Was I just fired up the new player experience and rolled a new character just to see what the game was like, because I'd been out of Eve for so long. I got an invitation from Cloaked Goof, and so I joined with this new character, this fresh blood. And I kept this alt in for a while, and I was like, these guys are fun, because I'd been this care bearing, high sec mission running guy for 10 years. And then all of a sudden these guys, like, I finally, is the first time I'd gotten on comms and actually had like engaged with the community. And that was kind of that Cloud Ring era. And then I kind of just stuck with it and went through that whole experience through trying to kind of make our own space in Cloud Ring, and then realizing kind of, I don't want to put it this way, but like the futility of trying to be an up and comer when you're in basically between the anvil and the hammer of 3 giant alliances, and still being scrappy, right? Like, that's why Goons noticed us, and that's why we found a home.
Absolutely. So in all of this, given where Cloaked Goof was when kind of all of this happened, kind of, you had 3 different entities, you had stuff going on. Why was the Imperium a good choice for Cloaked Goof?
I mean, I'm going to say infrastructure is key, and culture, right? Like, I can respect the leadership. I'll let Eaze and Gru weigh in on this, but we were hitting the strains of managing the infrastructure once you get to a certain scale, and they already had all that in place, right? And they approached us from a position of respect, right? Not from a beat us or join us. They said, we respect what you've done on the field of battle, and we'd like you to be part of us, right? I think that was, again, approaching us from a position of respect and not from a join us or die mentality.
Yeah, to echo off on what Yerk was saying, it was a large part was the respect thing, and also just when Archie was talking to us about whether we should join Goons or not, he was basically saying we could keep going as Cascade Imminent, but the amount of effort you have to do to make a sustainable long-term alliance in this game is going to take us at least 10 years. And it's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of hard things we're going to have to do just to make the scale happen. Or we can just accept that we want to focus on our corporation and get better there. So that was definitely a big motivator.
And that definitely makes sense. And having, the understanding of this makes sense. But hey, look what we gained now. We got friends. And our corn pilots are doing big things. Like, there you go.
What else we got was enemies, and that goes back to like World War B was some of the funnest we ever had.
Mm-hmm. Dave, I have friends. God damn it. I don't know if that's at me or if that's at them. Dave! God damn it, boss. So, without letting Dave throw me off, can you tell me some of the awesome stuff that Cloaked Goof does for its members? And I've heard a little bird mention that you guys might be recruiting?
Yeah. Go ahead, Gru.
No, you go.
Yeah, I mean, we're always recruiting fresh blood. we have this idea of, right? It's in the name. It's cloaked goose. We're goofy, and 90% of the time we're sneaky, but also 90% of the time we fail, and that's kind of a big portion of our identity is, we want people to fail. We want people to kind of, eat the dirt a little bit, get back up and learn, because that's how you become a better player at the end of the day. Um, but yeah, I mean, we offer a lot in terms of like our members. We do fleets, we do small gang PvP, we've done wormhole evictions, we have, indie parks and indie setups, we have classes and ways different. We train different people to show them different things. We even offer SRP on top of, the Alliance SRP as well, just to make sure everyone's getting back on their feet, right? If you're gonna foster a corporation on kind of failure, essentially, it's good to allow people the ability to get back up. In addition to that, we offer PI support, just kind of like the whole shebang. If it's something that you want to do, more than likely we offer it. I will say, as a little hint, if you're applying, there is a little tradition that we have where if you read a certain thing, once you get invited, Yurok will give you a ship. I won't say which ship because I don't want to spoil it, but it's a good ship. It's gotten around. It's been used a few years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Corp Bulletins is one of those things buried deep in the Eve UI that is an Easter egg for new members, for sure.
This is true.
More hints on hints.
I gotta say, like, he's put it well. Like, look, we're here for our Corp members. We want everybody to know each other's names. We don't want to get too big. We want a good knit community within the Corp that's part of the larger alliance, right? We're definitely supporting alliance initiatives while still maintaining our identity. One of the Corp members who had just mined something like $30 billion worth of minerals from some of our was like, "Oh wow, I just made you a bunch of money," and I'm like, and I showed him a chart of 2 years of our finances, and I said, "We have not made any money in 2 years because we've reinvested that back into everybody in the corp so that they can build their assets." And I had the receipts.
Oh, I fully understand, and I do not need to see the receipts, but um, that is absolutely fantastic. That is something that I love to see because I love that as a alliance and a lot on corp level, it's how can we make the lives of our members better, not the leadership, the members, and putting members first in that sense of, hey, let's give them a little SRP, a little extra SRP. Let's make sure if they're gonna go and do things to help support the Imperium, we're gonna take care of them, and showing that, hey, this is a community in the fact that there's support there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And the support thing is massive for us. It's the reason it's kind of the reason our community is the way it is, where like we want to show support from a leadership level. Like you mentioned it earlier, is like when things go bad, we'll reach out to other corps and be like, "Hey, is there anything that we can do?" Or other people and be like, "Hey, dude, I'm so sorry. Is there something that we can do to help or anything?" And it's something that we foster a lot in our corporation, is just that mentality of helping others. And that really comes down from the top down.
And like I mentioned kind of at the beginning, Eaze, after something had happened in game, was one of the first people. Dude, I don't remember how late it was at night. I was still awake, but I feel like it was super late, and Eaze reached out and was like, hey, I heard something happened. How are you doing? Are you okay? And that has stuck with me, I'm not gonna lie. That, hey, somebody who, you know, we were speaking, and kind of acquaintances reached out and went, hey, hold on, I gotta talk to you and make sure you're okay. You just give me it. Why did you give me ISK? Don't. Did you say? You did not give me ISK, you butt. Yes, you do. What? I don't know.
It's just a goof.
Oh.
It's just a goof.
They're catching me in these goofs,
Just
man.
goof being goofs.
Man, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we like to have fun sometimes. Yeah, we'll definitely like do dumb stuff sometimes. Like I think it was like a month or two ago where we just got, like 10 or 12 people together and we were like, all right, you're on team 1, you're on team 2, and we just duked it out. Just because it's fun. It's fun sometimes just to like go have fun as a corp and just do stuff. And sometimes
yeah.
we do really dumb stuff like talk about Artie Nag doctrines for hours on end.
That's, I heard that and I saw somebody was like, hey, go undock one or trot that rust bucket off the undock. I have not undocked to verify, but
truer
Yeah.
words were never spoken. Eaze is a fan of that doctrine.
they're gonna kill, oh lord, they're gonna go kill each other. Well, as long as they're having fun, that's what matters. It's all in good fun while everybody's laughing,
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I'll replace his nag later. It's fine.
Oh god. At this point, I'm just gonna undock a Logi ship and go, hi, little tiny beams! I'm not gonna keep you alive, but I'm gonna try. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It is hilarious, and I love it. So, before we get too carried away and just goofing around, are there any big accomplishments that Cloaked Goof has that you can talk about?
So, yes, we, for instance, the first one, and I only remember this as when I was going back down memory lane. Like first, we had that EC TAC monument that we got created because we were one of the last Sov Wars for that Fortizar. But we also have had a lot of lucky successes and just random successes. We have, as Eaze mentioned earlier, there was a time where, and it was around when we were about to goons were about to knock out Hard Knocks. We were like, this is fun. Why don't we just do evictions for a little bit? And for a good 3 or 4 months, we were just trying to evict people, and we had a lot of success doing that. And then we changed our minds, and we were like, okay, well, now we're just going to go and do some high-sec war decking. Or we go and we just put our minds to it, and we go out and do something. And I think going down to it for me, and maybe this is just a success for us and everything, but like I've been honored to just take care of this community and just watch it grow and become a stable thing. And just watching when, I'm not on and I just hop on, people are talking about what they're doing in Eve and they've learned some new niche or something. And I geek out about that. And so it's always good. I would say that's the greatest success to me, is because there are so many corporations out there that it's just their name, really. Yeah, and there's not much there, or you will see people who are like, help me, I'm not being saved or whatever, and like everyone's quiet and comms and everything. So this is not that type of core. This is the core that you're tackled or something. If they're available, they're going to try to save you. Or, oh, you lost your work. Well, before we can even go are you okay, there are people coming up and stepping up and helping out their fellow member, and I think that's unique, and I think that's something to appreciate.
Yeah, and I think that there's something we can't put a pinpoint on it, but there's been times when there's been like nascent SIGs and squads, and Cloaked Goof put a majority of energy behind that to keep it rolling and moving and doing some really cool things. I don't want to go into individual ones, but there's been times where we were a pretty involved force behind some of those SIGs and squads and keeping them content rich.
For sure. And I absolutely, and this is my experience with you guys, has been phenomenal. Anytime that I come across any of you guys, it's always, everybody's so nice. And I say this for a lot of groups, but there are if you are in Goons, everybody is super, super nice. And, or, you know, in the Imperium, and even out of the Imperium, before I joined Goons, like, I was so shocked, and that was part of the reason why I joined Goons, was everybody was nice, they were super helpful, and I love seeing a corp that is very much in the style of leadership that is almost customer service like, for lack of better words. Dave, I didn't know you before I joined Goons, honey. I didn't know you before I joined Goons. Ironically, I think the first time that I met Dave was when he was doing or not met, but like knew of Dave, was watching the meta show like 4 months after I joined Eve. So, that's really awkward, but yeah, hi INN boss. But yeah, so loving the groups, you know, being willing to go in and talk about their community and showing, you know, this is the support that they bring, and this is, you know, how they support their members, and being willing to go, you know, hey, look, we are recruiting, come join us, come see coming on, and being willing to talk about the history and all of that. Absolutely fantastic, and I appreciate you guys. Any last thoughts that y'all just want to get out of your heads?
Well, clearly poaching other Imperium corps is kind of frowned upon. So the other 120 followers in here, but of those 10 of you that may not be in Imperium and want to just get a taste of Eve with a good mentoring support network, by all means, we're pinned for our Discord link, and join us and just chat and get to know us. Everybody else, yeah, we can't poach you, but you'd probably be better off here.
Oh my god.
Urok's such a goof.
I love it. It's so goofy. So goof. Such goof. You're not PH. I don't know. You would have to ask him yourself, pro gods. You would have to ask him yourself. And I am not the person to speak to about that, but you can probably go pop in that link and try to see if you could join, you know? You just had to fight. I don't know. But I will say the Discord link is up there if you are interested in talking to Cloaked Goof, getting to know them, getting to hang out, maybe even getting to join them. For the people who are non-Imperium, because of course poaching is not allowed. This is purely history for you in that point, or educational in a sense about Eve.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if nothing else, I try to make this slightly educational. You're listening and tuning into roast streams. Hey, that works too. You're welcome to just come hang out with me. I do this, and then occasionally earlier you'll see me doing some other stuff, usually playing with skins and colors. But I mean, Angel, I would definitely at least listen. You could always go back and listen to the podcast versions as well. They will be found on YouTube. So, you Gibbs money. What? You did Gibbs money! Oh my god! Oh, that's you! I know who that is. Sorry, I just realized that, the person who said that they gives money, I know who that is, and, yes.
He just twitched, Eve doxed himself.
Yes, he gave me his in-game name by sending me Isk, and now that I know who he is, now I'm like, oh my god, that's where the random Isk comes from the name, that I'm just like, wait, hold on, I feel like I know this person, and yes, thank you.
So this is how close of a corp we are. When he started dropping Artie Nags, we knew who he was.
Exactly. We knew the moment.
That's fair. I mean, I'm glad that... See, that is so funny that even just somebody making a statement, you're like, I know who that is. hold on. I know who that is. And I'm not saying the name for a reason because it's slightly inappropriate because if I'm gonna say it. But that's why I'm talking as I am. But yes, no, I know who that is now. I see the time. Yes, thank you. I know who you are. I recognize the name because yes, thank you. Occasionally, I see this name send random amounts of ISK, and I'm just like, wait, what'd I do? What'd I do? I don't know what I did. I'm just here, and it's random. It's been anywhere from 69 ISK to 420 to yeah, but no, I didn't know he was with y'all. That's so sweet. Sorry, that just made my day. So I have been enjoying figuring out and learning the history of all the corps that I have friends with or friends in, and realizing, oh wait, you're that friend. That's the and getting really excited. So forgive me as I get really rather excited. But we had Urok's final thoughts, Gruesome Eaze. Any other thoughts between you? But I don't want to say thoughts between you two. It's not like you share brain cells. But I'm not here to insult you. I'm here to hype you up. But any final thoughts?
Some days you'd be surprised. We do share brain cells some days. Usually on days that end with like why. But I would say, yeah, I mean, Cloaked is a fantastic place. I've quit Eve like 3 or 4 times, and every time I've come back to these guys just because at the end of the day, you know, everyone's friendly, the culture is massively important, support is massively important, and I think that if you're playing games, that's what you should be playing for, is for people.
Yeah, my thoughts are just click on the link and jump in and say hello. Even if you're not looking to join up, if you just want to chat or something, we're here. Yeah, we have it's a good time, and I've loved every minute of it.
And if we're in fleet together, don't mind throwing. I heard about you through Rose.
Yeah, just go, or you can say Rose says hi even, or or hi through just say something funny and they'll probably understand. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I always look forward to seeing Cloaked Goof on fleets. You guys are fantastic. Absolutely love hanging out with y'all. And thank you so much for coming and spending, a little bit of time with me, and being willing to talk.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
It's fantastic, Rose. Thank you.
I am happy to be. I feel like I'm doing public service, in a sense, just because this is going to be slightly, I don't want to say slightly personal, but in the sense of Eve as a newer player, there's like, hey, where to go? And pull it, and oh my god, nullsec is scary. Don't go to nullsec. Nullsec's not scary. Not once you get to know, hey, there's good people.
It's the funnest I've ever had.
Yeah, I hands down agree with that. I don't think I've had a better time in Eve, and yeah, like I said, okay, so for reference, I joined Goons at 26 days in game. So yeah.
Right into the deep.
Yep. At least I didn't go wormholes. But I do hunt in them occasionally still. But yeah. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and thank you for your time. Thank you for coming and hanging out. And I think we'll go ahead and go find somebody to poke who wants to hang out with everybody, so I can let the fine gentleman of Goof go away and have fun and probably eat dinner or, mine or whatever, PvP, whatever. Maybe it's bedtime, I don't know.
Is Dave begging for the raid here? Or...
Yes, he is. I was actually gonna send it to somebody else, but Dave tends to ask nicely for the most part. But yeah, rude. Well, that's not how you spell rude. Goodness, do I need to send you one of those like letter book? No, that'd be. I can't make that joke. I'm sorry. That would be rude of me. Angel saying, you never thought nullsec was scary, but very indoctrinish. Honestly, I would disagree. I think that it has its moments for everybody to, hey, you need to learn what commands are, learn gate colors, learn how to fleet. But other than that, like, just learning how to work in a large group. Time. That's about it. Like, it's you can pretty much do your own thing, or do your own thing with people.
Doctrinish is about like doctrine ships. Like I some people kind of bristle at that. Don't tell me what to fly, but there's a lot of thought that goes behind that, and there is plenty of opportunity for kitchen sink and die-in.
Oh, and you can. Oh, there's a lot of flexibility as well. So, yeah, there's yellow gates as well for people who don't listen when the gate's red. Apparently, and to quote the big red boat, if you took that gate, you're dead. For lemmings. So, that's one of the few things that I've heard that I've been like, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Oh, that... I just can't stop laughing. There's some that I'm like, okay, that's pushing it. But that one's smart. Because it works. But, yeah, with that, I think we will send it to Dave. Because, we need, if you'd like to go and give Dave, if you give him some ISK, maybe he will, I'll figure out. Maybe we'll send him a coloring book. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to come up with a meme. But yeah, we'll go ahead and write out to Mr. Dave. That way we can let Eaze, Gruesome, and Urok go, and let them go about their merry way and continue their fantastic community they have. And you are welcome for the entertainment. I am here for laughs, for intelligence, and sometimes for whenever y'all make me jump scare and scream. So, alright. With that, have a good night, guys, and we'll see you later. Actually, we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have... we do have a stream tomorrow, and then Friday we have Amped, the interview with Amped. These are the Aussies, with Freyr. So... if you want to have some of the fun with Aussies, and I will tell you, they will probably have you rolling with laughter. Come back on Friday.
We have some token Aussies, too.
Oh my god, see, I love the Aussies. They are great. I go and hang out in the Amped Discord all the time, and I asked them if the toilet flushed backwards, and they started laughing at me, and I'm like, yes, okay, I have found my people. I was trying to troll them, but it worked. So it was, we all had fun. It was great. But with that, I will send it off to Dave. Have a good night, guys.